Okay, so guys, our Todd topic of discussion.
That was like
That was
almost
amazing.
unison. That was pretty good.
We should start working on that.
We should. Anyways,
so guys,
this is a heavier topic.
I feel like our topics are just gonna be getting heavier and heavier and heavier to the point where we're in your face, like, yeah,
in your face,
and making you question yourself.
What is life? Oh, that was the last video.
Get with the program.
I'm sorry, I'm such a dork. Okay.
Okay, so guys,
that was a unison. Jinx. Again.
Jinx.
Jinx again.
That's a synchronization. Okay, guys. So, topic of discussion: Todd. Parents.
Yeah. So how are we gonna ease into this topic? Or are we just gonna go hit the ground running?
I don't know what I'm doing. I was gonna be like train wreck, but I didn't say it. I forgot how to say wreck. I was just gonna say train. Stop it! Jeez, guys. Sorry, I'm scattered brain. Nah.
I love you. I love you so much, Isabel. Okay.
So, guys, parents.
They
a lot
mean
of you,
well.
They do.
They mean well.
But
that doesn't mean they're good parents.
I think, and I can't speak for I can't speak for everyone, but for myself, I think a lot of them, they really do try.
They try
their best because they
do.
Well, my parents, I know they want the best. I don't think they really understand what that is, though. You know,
I agree.
They assume what society has given them, or like what society says success is success. To them, that is what success is.
You know what? I think,
you know,
and this isn't all parents, but I think most parents, they try to give their children a life that's better than theirs, and they try so much that they lose sight of what's important, and they don't give the kid what they need, which is support and love and attention, which kids need.
Yeah, but I feel like my parents give me too much attention.
Oh, well, I came from a different, you know.
Yeah, different stories, different people, different backgrounds, but that's why we're here.
But parents try, and most of them.
Most of them. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But if, for those of you who are parents or who are going to be parents or aren't parents yet and
will be eventually,
or maybe not if you guys are like, that's not my thing. I don't think it's right. I'll have cats.
She's gonna be a crazy cat lady.
I'm not!
Yeah, she is.
Maybe. I don't know. We don't know yet, guys.
Oh, I know.
This is like, that's, no.
Anyways, well, we can speak for ourselves, and we know that our parents try.
Yeah.
In a sense. You have to really look for it.
Well.
You have to look for it.
It's not like they absolutely hate you.
You have to psychoanalyze them a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. A lot. I'm giving them credit.
Okay.
A lot.
A lot, guys. And
which is what I'm good at, so it's really, I love psychoanalyzing.
One thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that they're trying their best
with what they were given,
with what they were taught.
Yeah,
okay? The morals that they grew up with, and as society tells them as well. You know, I feel like a big thing is society, because my grandparents followed society. My mother and my father followed society. You know, my mother a little bit different, slightly. She does have her moments where I'm like, you might just be cool, but no. Then she actually, you know, it goes back to, oh my god, Mom, stop talking. A lot of people say that, you know, parents are just, you know, okay. One thing that I find really sad is when people want to, people kill their parents, or, like, they hurt their parents. I think
it's just a huge misunderstanding.
And, yeah, like, guys, no, it's not necessary. Violence is not the answer. Sometimes.
I've thought about it quite a bit, actually.
Well,
in the past, not anymore.
I've never meant to kill my parents. They just got in the way of my car.
They ran into my knife. They ran into my knife 10 times.
6 times.
10 times.
10 times?
10 times. Get it right.
But she says 6 in the song.
They ran into my knife. 10, 6. I'll look it up later.
Oh wait, no, it's 10.
It's 10.
Then why?
6 wives.
6 wives.
Sorry musical
guys.
tangent.
Another great musical.
Musical.
Another great musical, Chicago Guys. Check that out. We will. You know what? We should make like a daily musical recommendation. Like every time we do it, like a video.
Just on whatever reference we came up with that day. And back to topic.
Back to topic, guys. You want to put stuff in? Before I keep going?
Where are we? Oh, I forgot what we were saying. We were talking. Honestly, my parents were really bad when I was little. My parents were really abusive to me. Physically and mentally, they were abusive. And that was only when they were home. Most of the time, I was home by myself. And I remember being home at night, and it was really scary. And they would always tell me, "Lock the door, or people are gonna come in and kill you." And I'm like, so I remember being alone all the time. And when they would be home, they would always be mad at me, and they would always hit me or tell me how worthless I am, and that I'm never gonna do anything. And that is not good for children.
Bad parenting.
And we had guns in our house and knives and weapons, and I honestly thought about killing them. I thought about killing myself. I've made plans before. I probably shouldn't be telling you this. I'm fine now.
She's perfectly sane.
I really am.
I keep her sane.
I'm sane.
Keep her in check, guys. But I think we've all had those depressing moments. I know I was really depressed. My parents think that I wasn't. They think that I'm like. When I was in high school, I've gone to shrinks, and my parents have told me, like, my mom thought that my parents thought there was something wrong. Oh, she has bad grades, there's something wrong with her. There's something mentally wrong with her. Let's take her to shrink and see what's wrong with her. And then they're like, she's perfectly fine. Oh, okay. And I always thought that, there was something always wrong with me. I always felt like I was a problem, and I was such a good. I feel like I was such a good kid. I always tried not to be a problem, and because I would always get in trouble, and they would always be like, Isabel, you can't do this, and that's being a bad kid. It would hurt me to death if I ever heard my mom say like, oh, you're a bad kid, or you did something bad, and you hurt me. One thing that my mom loves to say is you hurt me. And it's like, now that I'm older, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Because honestly, sometimes people just need to be told their shit. Okay? And I'm not trying to say throw all your parents' crap in their face. But for me, in order for me to have a good relationship with my mother, I had to do that. Because now I think my relationship's slightly better with her. I mean, it's not completely great. But it's slightly better now than before because of the fact that she knows that I'm the person that I am, and I'm not going to change because of what she wants me to be. I'm not going to be who she wants me to be. I'm going to be my own person, and I'm going to make my own decisions. And she knows in the end it's my decision, whether she likes it or not.
I don't know. I spent my entire childhood, like up through high school, trying to make my parents proud of me, because that's something they never gave me. They never
gave you credit.
They never said, "Good job, Christine. Oh, you worked really hard on this. I can tell. Oh, you're doing this? That's so great." Like, I went through a bunch of sports. I was in band. I was in honors. I did really well in school. I took AP classes sometimes until I gave up. I was in theater. I was in shows. I tech shows. I was stage manager, like the most important job you can get in theater.
She's guys, you have no idea. She is amazing. She was. And I think that's one thing that people don't understand. They take you as a bitchy person, but it's because you know your shit. And you know what you need to do. You always strive to do your best. And that's one thing that people are always jealous about. And
that's always because of my parents, though, because nothing I ever did was good enough. Oh, I did really well on this test that I studied for. Oh, okay. like, when I graduated high school, when I graduated, I had cords, I had a medal, I was really proud of myself, you know? And they came to my graduation, and then afterwards, all they could say is, oh, why don't you have more cords like those other kids? Or, oh, why don't you have a 4.0 like those other kids? It's like, oh, thanks. You know, I worked really hard for what I have. Thanks for not appreciating it. But, I'm sorry, am I depressing you?
No, because it just reminded me of my graduation and all the shit senior year was not fun for us guys.
No, it was.
Senior year
It was not
My
fun.
dad got remarried and a lot of shit just went down, man. I kind of was going through a transition in my life where I didn't know what I want, and so because I didn't know what I wanted, I rejected everything, and I just didn't want anything anymore. I was just like, I kind of was depressed. I didn't ever said anything. I would lock myself in my room here, like, by myself, and I would just sit here and cry a lot. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are just like, oh, but you're so happy all the time. It's like, no, you don't even know.
You don't even
how dark I am,
you don't know how much we cry, how much we go home and we will just sob because.
But the good thing is that I never let myself get to the point where I couldn't function.
Yeah,
you or can't. I never cut myself. Like, honestly, not to be rude or anything to all you people who cut yourselves, but honestly,
it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to help change the fact that you're still there. You still exist, okay? Not to say to go kill yourself, but Jesus, if you're gonna be here, make yourself worthwhile, okay? Like, honestly, like, one thing that I learned the hard way was that no one was gonna come and help me, you know? Crying in your room can only take you so far.
Yeah.
When you're done crying,
do something
about it. Get your ass up and move on.
You know why?
Move forward.
You know why? Because the only person that's gonna get you somewhere is yourself. You can't
tough
rely
love,
on someone
guys.
else.
We're giving you guys some tough love right now because, and I'm not saying that, oh my god, I've went through so much. I honestly, compared to other people, I know people have gone through worse. I know my situation was pretty nice, because when I grew up, I was spoiled, but I never acted like a spoiled child. Like, I mean, I was spoiled, but at the same time, for example, I was spoiled by my mom. She would always buy me a whole bunch of stuff. I would always have nice things. But I never really saw her. My mom I honestly say when I was little, I was raised by my grandmother.
I was raised by my dog.
and my grandma was the one who raised me, honestly. My mom was there, but, okay, I would never see my mom ever during the week because in the morning she would leave early for work, and in the evenings she took up night classes. She would teach night classes in LA, mind you. So she would get home 9 and 10 o'clock. I was already in bed. I graded my own homework. I would take care, I kind of took care of what I needed to take care of. Okay. On the other hand, my dad didn't really spoil me. He didn't give me everything my mom gave me. But at the same time, he gave me the time that my mom never gave me. But at the same time, my dad gave me, he kind of raised me as a son because he never had a son. So he really raised me to be, very, I don't know how to explain it. I'm kind of tough on the outside, and now I've let that kind of I've bogged that down a lot. But when I was little, I kind of was conflicted with, and maybe that's why I am the way my sexuality and all that stuff. But I was really conflicted with trying to be this tough person, trying to grow some balls. But at the same time, liking Barbies and wanting that Barbie doll house really bad.
Which I never got.
Oh, my dad bought me a mall.
Oh my god.
He got me the little mall. It was like this, it's like this big. And I would be like, pretending to watch it. And then, yeah. And so, I mean, we both were raised very different. And we both have very different experiences, but at the same time, I feel like every single person goes through this moment where you question yourself and question, who you are. Because that's a big thing for me. That was
and
a very big
it's
thing
so
for me.
influenced by how you were raised by your parents.
Exactly. Morals and main core values will always come from your
family.
parents
Your
and
family. Yeah.
Exactly. And for me, a lot of that stuff hasn't changed. Like, my main core values, like, I still believe in God. I still, I still believe that, I like to hope. To me, it's more of a hope than anything. Like, it's not so much faith. Like, I have faith. It's really complicated. I'm still in this complicated stage with, like, religious
She's still trying to find herself.
I'm still trying to find myself, guys. I'm so fucked up.
See,
but
I know who I am and where I stand. And my parents raised me super religious. Like, I was really religious growing up. And now I totally reject it. I'm like, fuck you, religion. Sorry. But no, I'm totally different. I don't want them to dictate who I am. I am my own person. And I don't know. I think who I am, my parents for who I am, because I like who I am for the most part. And I know I wouldn't be such a hard worker, and I wouldn't strive for so much if they didn't, completely disregard me and throw me aside. Because my whole life they told me, you're a mistake. We didn't intend to have you. Oh, you were supposed to be a boy. We didn't even want you. And it's just... Oh, why aren't you like your brother and sister? Your brother and sister are in the military. Why aren't you like them? Look how well they're doing. Thanks. But it's because of that I worked so hard and I'm where I am. Which isn't far.
I think, though, that you, like, in a sense, when it comes to... You had that whole, my parents didn't pay attention to me, and I kind of had to survive on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was being suffocated by my parents. I honestly felt like they, from the minute I was born, it was like, Isabel, you need to go to university. You're going to a 4-year. Because we went to a Cal State, we went to a 2-year. You have to go to a 4-year. You have to go to a university. And not just any university. UCLA or USC. Or UC Berkeley, even that.
It has to be an elite school.
It has to be a good school. Because then it's not worth it. Make it worth it and blah, blah, blah. Because that's what's going to get you somewhere.
See, I'm kind of glad that my parents weren't like that.
So I was always pushed that way. And so I was just like, okay. And in elementary school, I did well. I never got straight A's ever in my life. I never got straight A's. But that's because I tried in elementary, but I've always, ever since I was little, I've never really found that a mission to be like, I need straight A's. I tried. My parents tried to motivate me and be like, we'll buy you a bike. Go get straight A's.
Wow.
And I'm even with that, I was just like, okay, I'll do my best, but, and maybe it's because I'm just not school material or whatever, but even...
No, that's like bullshit. Everyone can do it.
Well, no, I know. I mean, I did it. Yeah. But I feel like if I would have actually tried, I probably would have gotten straight A's. And that's one thing that kills my parents to this very day. It kills them to know that I could have.
You just didn't.
I just didn't. And so they were just like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why it is. I've never had motivation. And you know what? I had more motivation when I was little than I have now. When I was little, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to strive to do good. I'm going to strive to do good. And I actually did try in elementary. But once I hit middle school, I was just like, I'll try. And in high school, it got worse. And I was very emotional. Oof. I went through weird extremes in high school and middle school.
She did.
Guys, you have no idea. Do you remember me in middle school?
I do remember you in middle school.
Guys, I was so different in middle school. I was that very preppy, bubbly. I was
Hello Kitty.
I still I
know, but it was like everywhere.
Everywhere. It was more like, okay, think of me as Bubbles. That's who I was. I was Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. I was Bubbles. And
oh my god. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She hated that. She, like, we were so opposite. We were extremes.
Oh, I think of it from Powerpuff Girls, Bubbles and Buttercup. That was us.
That was us.
Now I'm more like Blossom. I even have the red hair.
I think yeah, you
Woo! Okay.
I think I'm more...
Why are we talking about Powerpuff Girls?
and because it's a good reference point.
It kind of is. You know, the three...
So, yeah. So, and I went through a lot of, like, emotional stuff. I was very emotional. And so, when I finally went to high school, my parents thought that there was something wrong with me because I went from one extreme to the other. I went from being very bubbly and happy to being really just depressed and just tired, and I just didn't want...
See, I've always been
depressed.
I was
angry, and I was just... I hated the world. I just wanted to escape from everyone. So, in middle school, I was bubbly. I had people always around me. In high school, I was like... I distanced myself. Especially sophomore year. Sophomore year is when it really happened. Like, I was just like... They told me, oh, well, you should, you know, find friends. You shouldn't... You have to be like this. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going to have friends of the weirdest. Because you guys think I'm weird and you guys are rejecting the weirdestness of me. Y'all don't have me no more. Okay? Specifically, I'm not even going to get into deep discussion about family.
Let's not talk about that.
It's not about that. But I just went to one extreme to another. And I hanged out with... Okay, you know band people are known for being weird? Well, there was the weird people in band. So I hanged out with the weird people in band. So you could just imagine how weird it was. Okay? No, you're not even that weird. I hanged out with the weirdest of the weird.
Okay, can we get back to topic?
Yeah, back to topic. Guys, parents.
Parents.
Okay. So in the end, yeah, parents suck sometimes.
Oh,
a lot of times.
You know what? So many times I wish my parents would get divorced. Like, I know yours are, and I know it was a really hard time for you, and it was really
No, it
hard.
wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
What?
my parents being divorced?
No, when they got divorced. Like,
I don't remember anything from when I were divorced, actually. They divorced when I was 4. And I blocked off all those memories.
Oh, okay.
So I can barely remember when I was like 5.
See, I remember everything from when I was like 2.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of made a mental thing in my head where I would block off any memory from before I was 4.
I can't do that.
Or 5. What, the earliest memory I can think of is this memory coming to this house. Coming to this house.
I'm sorry.
You know what 2 memories I do
everything.
keep are the 2 memories of my grandfathers. I have 1 memory for each one.
Okay,
It's really weird. My mind is fucking weird.
but like, cause they would fight all the time, and it scared me when I was little. They would fight because they would get into really bad fights. It would go to like 4 a.m. They were drunk. They would hit each other. They would break things. It was really loud, and I remember my brother and sister would be sleeping, and I'm like, dude, how can you sleep? They're fighting. And I remember I would go and I would cry in my closet for a while, and I wish they would get divorced because I didn't want to deal with that anymore. It was really stressful.
I'm glad my parents got divorced. I'm so glad they did. And when I was young too, that's a good thing. I mean, I didn't like the fact that I had to be constantly. This is how my schedule was like for like the most of my life was one day with your mom, one day with your dad, one day with your mom, one day with your dad. Weekends, one weekend with your mom, one weekend with your dad. That's literally was my life, and it was so. I don't know how the heck. I think I did very well for being in that kind of situation where I had to have 2 of everything, and even like clothes, I had to have 2 sets of clothes. If I wanted like I buy a bike, I couldn't have 2 of that, so I'd have to like wait or like try to take it to the other house, and it was always a constant battle of. You know, me keeping focus with school, you know, like, you know, oh, I have a test to study for. Well, I have to make sure I have my books and everything with the right parent for that specific day type thing. Okay, that's kind of how my schedule was for a long time. And maybe that did kind of contribute to me being constantly, like, everywhere, a scattered brain, and being so irresponsible because I was always just, like, scattered brain all the time. So now that, like, I think one thing that really... And I can understand with your parents because my stepmom, you know, my dad's married 3 times. Wow. Yeah, this is his 3rd wife.
Damn.
Yeah. It's not that bad. I mean, I try to make it seem it's not that bad. But yeah, he's married 3 times. This is his 3rd wife, and she's okay. She's okay. I mean, she's nice.
This one's okay.
This one's okay. It's better than the last one.
Oh my god.
I mean, at least this one doesn't have kids. I don't know. Whatever floats his boat, I guess. I mean, but at the same time, like, I went through a lot of, like, kind of, not that I never really, strived for my dad's attention, or I don't think I did. Maybe subconsciously I was, but I was always told that, oh, Isabel, don't try to be a problem, you know, like, don't cause trouble for people. So I always try to stay out of people's ways, and I always try to be like, okay, I have to be a good kid, But I was always ended up being in the middle between my parents fighting, and they were divorced, okay? And even with that, they would still fight. Like, my mom would be like, you're an animal. My dad's like, you're a bitch. And she's like, I hate y'all guys, go to hell. And my dad would be like, oh, it got bad, guys. Like, I would cry, and I'd be like, I don't know what to do. And then, I was little, so my parents, when I was little, they'd kind of stop if they saw me crying. But if they didn't see, they kind of just eventually just kept going. And then eventually it was just like, Isabel, what do you say, and what do you think about what they said? And it's like, I don't even want to think about what they said, because I don't want to be put in the middle, you know?
So why you repress the memories?
And no, this happened in middle school.
Yeah.
Elementary through middle school, that's less in middle school, but elementary school was a bitch. There was always something that they were fighting about, and they would always be like, well, Isabel, what do you think? And I'd be like,
don't drag me into this.
But in the end, they would say, oh, well, Isabel, you said this, and oh, well, they wanted you to be like this. Oh, my mom would be like, oh, your dad is teaching you to have that battered wife syndrome, and blah, blah, blah. And your dad is teaching you to lie. And my dad would be like, your mom's trying to, doesn't want you to have balls, and
see, the thing but like, I remember growing up, I wish I had parents that valued my input, or that would actually talk to me, because every time I would come home, they'd be like, oh,
you would love
you're
my father,
home.
then.
You're home. And then I remember sometimes, like, I would try to come out of my room because I was hungry and I wanted to get something to eat from the kitchen, or I wanted water. And they'll be watching TV and they're like, go away, you're making too much noise, we're trying to watch TV. I'm like, just trying to get water. And I just, you know...
I would never reject you.
I know. But I mean, I wanted some attention, which is why I was in theater.
See, this is the thing, though, guys. We're so extreme. Like, we're complete opposites. Like, she was, like, needed the attention. I honestly felt like I didn't want it. I didn't want it.
A balance in between this would have been great.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like if my parents kind of gave me the leisure of, like, hey, you know, we're gonna let you do your thing. They never were like, they always wanted to be a top. They wanted to know everything I was doing. They always wanted, and I think one thing that I do like is that my dad was very open. Very open. My mom was not open. She kind of was just like, oh, you're gonna learn things through school and through books. That's how you learn about life. That's not true.
I don't know. My dad used to give me a lot of unsolicited advice, like really random stuff that I totally knew because, you know, it was common sense. He's like, don't do drugs. All of my friends are either in jail or dead. Don't end up like how I was, because he was in jail and he was in a gang and blah, blah, blah. But, so I'm just like, dude, I'm not stupid. I know. Don't talk to me. If you don't want to talk to me normally, don't talk to me. And what's worse, even now they're like, hey, let's go do stuff as a family. I'm like, no, it's too late. Sorry,
late, guys.
I have a life. I have things to do. But you should have done that when I was little and needed that. Sorry.
But that's one thing I do actually appreciate. So my parents did kind of give me a pretty good childhood. They did, honestly.
If you look in my house, there is no pictures of me as a child. There's pictures of my brother and sister growing up. There are no pictures of me at all. Maybe one. But
mine have a lot of pictures, but at the same time, like, they both took pictures of me as I was growing up, and they tried to kind of give me that whole normal thing of both my parents going to awards and them taking pictures with me during awards and all that stuff, because I would always get awards for, like, awards assemblies and stuff like that. So they would always be like, oh, let's go, we have to support her. And I think because of the fact that they were divorced, that was their motivation, though. Because they said, we already fucked her up by having us being divorced. let's try to keep her to get like kind of keep her from going insane or kind of going to an extreme. So they would be like, let's try to give her some normalcy. Let's both go to parent conferences. Let's both do that, because I think one thing that was good is that they both have the same. They both had the same ideals of who I should be. You know, she needs to go to university. She needs to do this. She needs to be like that. That was the only thing they agreed on.
My parents never supported me. Like, they never came to any of my games or band performances or in high school in theater. All 12 shows that I was in or teched, they didn't come to a single one of them. And I'm just like, dude, this is kind of important.
Though your mom did went to that one show.
Which one?
That one show that I took Sarah to go see you. It was outside of school.
That's because I bought the ticket, and I'm like, I bought it with my money. I'm like, you're going. I'm sorry, you're going. And she's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, no, you're going. Go. But
yeah. Though I do like that my parents did that. So my childhood isn't as bleak. There were those moments, but it wasn't as bleak.
Mine was really bleak. I don't even want to sugarcoat it. Like,
it was fucked up.
It was fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think mine was as. I mean, like, it depends if you like really think about it. I did go through like crazy shit, guys. I'm not even kidding. Like, I went through like my parents. Like, I just remember a lot of constant fighting and screaming, and you know. That's how I learned curse words, guys. That's why I have a sailor's mouth. I literally do have a sailor's mouth, and I swear my parents really did contribute to that. Even though my mom would always be like, "You can't swear," da 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 da. I'd be like,
"Fuck you, fuck it. Don't fucking tell me what to do, you motherfucker."
No, you know what? I was a good kid in that point. I never ever talked back to my mother.
I've never
talked back to my mother. I kind of did. I would mess with my dad, because my dad was more lenient in that sense, where he'd be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." Like, he always. That's one thing I really approve of my dad. And that's why he's between my mom and my dad. He's the closest one to me, because though now we're a little bit distant. Like, there's a big distance right now between me and him. For several reasons, which I shall not go into. But he was always just like. For example, my mom wasn't the mom figure. She would always kind of, like I told you before, she would always give me books and blah. So when it came to personal hygiene, such as the major thing is periods, yeah, my mom never told me about periods. I didn't understand.
My mom didn't either, but we learned from school.
No, school didn't teach me. I don't remember ever being taught.
I do. I remember.
I don't know what school you went to, but I was never taught about.
I learned this in like 4th grade.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
And then I used to watch educational shows, so I knew all about. And I read a lot. I used to live in the library when I was little. I'm a nerd.
Nerd at heart. But yeah, so my dad told me about that stuff. He's like, this is a pad.
That's
This
interesting.
is painkillers. This is what you're gonna need. This is why this
really
happens.
Awkward.
But you know what? Because of that. That's why I am the person I am right now. That's why I'm so open, and I'm so like, if I see, like, for example, Natalie, because of the fact that my grandma's not like that at all, when it comes to like personal things, like, you know, girl stuff, I'd be like, hey, don't do this, and you know, I would always try to like be open about it. I'm a very open person. If you say, Isabel, I need to talk to you about something.
Our video's really long.
Oh shit, it is a long video, guys.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
no.
it's
not.
We went off so much.
We really did go off. Well,
I think
that's what happens when we talk about parents.
And we still have so much to say. We condensed it for you.
Condensed. Conclusion, guys.
Parents try.
They really try, and they mean well. And in the end, you can't change the fact that they're your parents.
You can't.
You know, they can't. You can't. You kind of have to understand that they come from a certain background. You know?
And they are the way they are because of their parents. Because their parents fucked them over.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So, just kind of see it as, I kind of want you guys to think of it as, you can't change your parents, but you can change yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Don't.
I mean,
look at us. We could have turned out so fucked up. but like worse than we are, like in the streets doing drugs
There
and
you
in
go.
jail and pregnant, but we're not.
Yeah, thank the Lord Jesus for that shit.
Oh my gosh. But seriously, you can't let it get you down.
Yeah, no. You guys find like
You
I
just
said,
gotta deal with it.
you gotta deal with it
Cope.
and move forward. I will forever say that. Move forward. That's my
Life goes on.
life goes on.
Life goes on.
And parents are just there and really like just accept them and love them in your own way.
And you won't be with them forever, hopefully. So I don't
No,
know.
I will
My
say-
29-year-old brother still lives at home. But yeah.
Because I think like because in the end when they're gone, I feel like I will miss my parents in the end.
See, I'm not
I will.
so certain about that.
We're all different, so
but just make the most of it.
yeah. And if you already do love your parents,
Great, good for you.
Um,
You're better people than we are.
yeah, definitely. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's it.
stay saucy.
Sorry for the long video. If you stood through it,
Good
awesome.
for you. Pat
Thanks.
yourself on the back, guys. You guys are pats for Patrick, guys. Yeah. So
Without further ado,
we shall move on to our next subject, and we shall see you guys later.
bye.
Bye.
Stay saucy.